Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Magic Mondays. Today we're looking at a deck that I have called Fodder Recruiter. And the commander is Baird, Argivian Recruiter. For red-white, you have an uncommon legendary creature human soldier. He's a 2/2. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a 1/1 soldier token. Nothing super spectacular, but we're going to try to abuse it. As you can see over here, we have a mana cost of average 3.1, heavy into white, more than double white than red, 25 creatures, 36 non-creatures, and this cool card sleeve. So yeah, 25 creatures, no really dominant type except for maybe human. 5 instants, 5 sorceries, 13 artifacts, 11 enchantments, 4 planeswalkers, and only 38 lands. Because despite the little bit higher mana cost on average, you really don't need more than that. And there's quite a few mana rocks, as you'll see momentarily. So what do we got? We got some control and life gain here. We've got some life gain here with a nice simple soldier that gets +1/1 until end of turn if you control 3 or more creatures. Great for triggering Baird. Light of Hope, some versatility, plus can trigger Baird. Paladin class can trigger Baird. Soul Warden, because, I mean, you just want to gain life all the time. Same with Daxus, just gaining a bunch of life. Disenchant, because it's a great classic card. Horn of Valhalla will let us make a whole bunch of soldier tokens, and then we can throw the horn onto something to make it stupid big. Intrepid Adversary, really easy way to trigger Baird here by paying a mere 1 generic and 1 white when it enters the battlefield, and all creatures get +1/1. All creatures I control get +1/1. You could obviously pay more than that as well and get it really silly. Kabira Takedown is a versatile land, but also can just eliminate a threat on the other side very easily. This guy here, Clement, pretty much just here because when he enters the battlefield, creature cards in your hand perpetually gain +1/1, which helps us trigger Baird. You sensing the theme yet? Ritual of Hope. Creatures you control get +1/1 until end of turn. It's a nice offensive or defensive card, and it triggers Baird. Get used to me saying it if you're not already. Sunset Revelry can gain life, can create human tokens, and can make me draw a card if need be. Nice versatile sorcery. 2 mana. It's not bad. Tomek. Distinguished Advocist. It's a weirdly named card, but it's a 2/2 flyer, lands on the battlefield and land cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control, and your opponent can't play land cards from the graveyard. There's a lot of Muldrotha decks or Gaia decks or whatever. This just shuts that down. And it gives us a flyer. Rip Apart for some versatile removal of something. Mana Rock. Mana Rock. Down here, a bunch of mana rocks. I'm not going to go over those. I've gone over them enough. Adeline Resplendent Cather. Wow, look at that. A star for power? Certainly sounds like it's going to trigger Baird. Bazriket triggers Baird and can make tokens if you get him to his ultimate. Canyon Gerbora. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, creatures trigger Baird. Danitha, because there's actually quite a few auras and things in this deck, and it's just a 2/2 first strike vigilance lifelink card. Vigilance lifelink card. Glorious Anthem, trigger Baird. Halo Fountain, make tokens. Sunwing, some more control. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, and it's a flyer. Make a stand, trigger Baird. Raidane, God of the Worthy. It's mostly there for the artifact purpose. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1 of that damage. And counter stuff that are counters spells or abilities that opponent control unless they pay 1. Just a nice little protection for all of our tokens. Wedding Announcement makes tokens and then triggers Baird. Welcoming a Vampire, draw lots of cards. Ajax triggers Baird. Bergie Whenever you cast a spell, add red. Great card in this deck. It really lets you tear through stuff, which is, again, one of the reasons why we only have 38 lands in here. Bolthound, whenever it attacks, it triggers Baird. Fable of the Mirror Breaker lets us make a token, and also that enchantment creature at the end, we could just make a copy of, say, a Bolthound and trigger Baird. Krenko, great for triggering Baird and making tokens. Tajik has haste and mentor, which will trigger Baird. Prevent all non-combat damage you would be dealt that would be dealt to other creatures you control, and it can gain first strike. Mostly there for the mentor ability, and that allows us to trigger Baird. Lots of mana rocks. Oh look, it's Baird. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. Just a nice defensive card to go along with some of our other defensive cards. Felidar Retreat. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, trigger Baird. Leonin War Leader. Make some tokens. Doesn't trigger Baird. This guy here, this sorcery, lets us make some tokens, and that's neat. Because why would you not want to make tokens? Delina, Wild Mage, lets us copy a thing, and that's, I mean, it's great. It's a great card. So whenever it attacks, choose target creature you control, roll a d20, 1 through 14, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary. Or 15 through 20, create one of those tokens. You may roll again. Another Krenko, make tokens. Zerial, +1. Creatures you control trigger Baird until end of turn. Winota, Joiner of Forces. I hate playing against this card, so of course I had to put it in here. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Blade Historian, attacking creatures you control have double strike. Great card. For 4 mana, what that does, it's ridiculous. Oh, and another mana rock, because why not? Cleansing Nova destroys artifacts or enchantments. Artifacts and enchantments or creatures, I should say. Just in case. It's just good to have some removal along with Doomscar here. And here is the key card in terms of like why I built this deck. Divine Visitation. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. When this card is in play, there's a really good chance you're going to win. Because pretty much every turn you're probably making a token. A 4/4 flying vigilance token. A Sarah Angel for us old school players. I have a deck, an actual paper deck that's based around this and Sapperlings, and it's super fun to play. But in this case, we're just triggering Baird to make angels. Elspeth Resplendent. For +1, choose up to 1 target creature, put a 1/1 counter and a counter from among flying, first strike, lifelink, or vigilance on it, and trigger Baird. Virtue of Loyalty. You want to pay 2, create a 2/2 white knight creature with vigilance, or you want to pay 5, put a 1/1 counter on each of the creatures you control, untap those creatures, and trigger Baird. Terror of the Peaks. When you are making tokens every turn, this guy just rips through opponents. Tybalt. I like Tybalt because for +1, you're adding 2 red, draft a card from his spell book, and then exile it. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. It's just nice to get some more creatures on the table. There's also one of the spellbook cards here. Oops, sorry. One of the spellbook cards is Hell Rider, I think is what it's called. And it's a hasty creature. It's a hasty demon or devil. I think it's a devil. And it allows you, when you attack with creatures, to deal 1 damage to the opponent for each creature that is attacking. It's pretty good in a deck that's designed around lots of tokens. Nahiri's Resolve. Creatures you control get +1/0 and have haste. Trigger Baird. Another mana rock with Gilded Lotus. And finally, an Ancient Copper Dragon, which lets us make treasure tokens, because why not? I threw it in here because it's a cool looking card, it's a cool ability, and it's good to have another flyer. We just got some pretty basic set of lands here. Just a couple of dual colored lands, some mountains, some plains. That's the deck. It's really simple. It's pretty fun to play. And I hope you're not sick of me saying it or thinking about it, because we are going to play some games, and I guarantee you we will be triggering Baird. So, without any further ado, if you like this video, please like this video by coloring in that little thumb, making it nice and colored in for me. That tells me that you actually did like it. You can leave a comment, let me know what you think of the deck. You can subscribe to the channel. You can check out some of my other content, whether it's Deus Ex, whether it's Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, whether it's retro gaming. I've got a ton of retro gaming stuff up now. Geez, I've played so many games already. Shadowrun, you can check that out. That's a fun series. Crystallis was retro gaming. There's just a ton of stuff, and there's always more. And don't forget about 7 Days to Die, which I release a lot of 7 Days to Die videos. So, like, comment, subscribe, be kind to yourselves and each other, and please enjoy the rest of this video.